is FCG trying to take it back against Soulform.
And there we have it. Important coin toss coming up. And honestly, this animation, especially for the World Championship, is always giving me a little bit of goosebumps. They're diving into the big stage, which we are on here, the big stage of the World Championship.
I also love that the field is, of course, in Master Duel colors, blue and red, while we are in Paris in France, which is also very much blue and red.
Okay, between the Malice names and the gold sarcophagus, RJ already off to a much better start than his record would suggest.
I also want to see in Duel C, I think. Oh, goodness me. I think we have seen a start from Sky Striker Tenpai. I think someone was let go first. And then there's an engage set. Heavy Storm is being activated.
Is that mirror match of Sky?
Kaiman is being chained. That is crazy.
Let's bring up table C there. This looks like a Tenpai on Tenpai match. This is madness, and it destroyed everything.
That just cleared out everything.
That is massive.
Sungen summoning looking good. Again, we said this Sky Striker Tenpai build, it does not interact in the opponent's turn. It's all about clearing the field. But how do you clear this? God War now allowing the Tenpai Dragons to come out. Chundra led to Pydra, thanks again Roku, and there's more to come. Biden Dragon being dug for in the extra deck, and then it just continues from there on out. The field spell still alive as well does suggest we can even potentially see the Trident Dragon make an appearance later on. There's nothing that can be done here to stop this onslaught.
And I don't even think we need that. We summon in the main phase. Wow, that is crazy. The Transcendent Dragon now called by the grave, even on the Genroku. But this now means that in the battle phase, nothing can happen. No Ash Blossom, no nothing. And you know the last card in hand, that's Sangan Kaiman. We are going to search Fadra, special Fadra, activate Fadra, summon back the Chandra, and this is way more than enough damage.
This is already game. This is God War taking the first game here. We said FCG, they needed a win for the redemption story to even have a chance of happening. Well, there is one. 4 more to go, and they can crack this group wide open.
Wow, what a start. Oh, and we have the very common matchup so far of Memento versus Malice.
That was faster than the speed of light
here.
Yes,
it was.
We're going to see a White Binder being summoned again. White Binder is actually, it is such a crazy card, but it gets even crazier. If it becomes a disruption on the opponent's turn as well, taking out Memento names can be quite useful at times. Most of the time it's like even better if you hit something else other than Tatsunoto or Shigo.
Appaloosa with 1 more negation remaining does still remain a threat here. RJ has a great setup here. At the moment, SCG looking fantastic, though we've seen them lose other games. Speaking of other games being lost, there is Duel B going by way of Soulform. This is already evened up. That lead gone, but RJ, it's up to him to take it back in favor of FCG here.
Did someone tell them that we have to leave quickly or something? Those 2 games are incredibly exciting and fast. Immediately over, and the only game remaining is between RJ here and his opponent on the other side, who's trying to counter it with the Memento strategy, but he just gets his 2 monsters back into the hand there.
The games are fast and one-sided, but the series is very much alive, and it's anyone's to take. 1 and 1. RJ, can you clear this one out and take your team to a lead? Granted, I'm a bit apprehensive seeing SCG be able to take another team to an even score in games, because we've seen them lose from the 5 and 4, from the 4 and 5, from that. It's so sad for them time and time again, but this is a way back in.
But you've said it before that RJ hasn't won a single game yet, and I think this is about to change. We almost have game on the field here.
I think we do if you turn it to attack.
And look how RJ is smiling, how he's laughing. You can really tell that he was working for that first win, and it seems like finally he's about to get it.
Back in the game, back in the zone. RJ, we said, cannot tilt, cannot let that record affect his gameplay, and he has not yet. Looking great here, looking to close it out, and looking to take FCG to a lead.
There is the battle phase. Is there anything there to stop him? I wouldn't imagine so. Bogan is already raising his hand there, signalizing that he's about to lose, because it is going to be RJ winning here.
I really, really like that RJ was considering to still do something in the main phase here, going, hey, is there some way for me to play around like a battle phase bestial or something like, oh gods, the misery of darkness, but then realized, hey, I have my Appaloosa on 0 attack. I have already used Firewall to bounce an extra deck monster, so that is not an option as well. I mean, there's probably nothing anyways. Let's just attack here.
That was incredible. I really love seeing that sequence of events, honestly. Just very, very fast-paced Yu-Gi-Oh!, but still a lot of expression there. Very funny that we ended up with the Tenpai Dragon mirror match, though, because it does mean that now, moving into the second set of games, obviously, those two players will not be matched off against each other again. But FGC able to come out ahead in that matchup does mean that we're in a great
2-1 it is, yeah. It is competitive. Even though the team has lost twice so far, they have lost twice in such incredibly close fashion by being at 4-5 both times. And they're again making sure immediately, basically, that they're going to see a third set once more, because with these 2 games, even if they get swept down the second set, they will be securing a third set eventually.
But now do you second-guess yourself about, do they take the Tenpai Dragon Sky Striker in this game? FCG, I mean, both teams have that quantity, right? So I get it.
That deck is more popular than I expected it to be honest. Like, almost every team seems like that they have that Tenpai deck on their roster.
It looks to me like the Tenpai Sky Striker deck is always sitting with the Ryziel deck as well there, and it is specifically there to counter the Ryziel deck of your opponent. So I kind of think that they're going back to playing Ryziel now, knowing that their opponent won't be on Ryziel.
Yeah, that's a fair guess. I like that way of thinking. But is that going to be good enough? Because is there Ryziel? Ryziel so far looked not that great, but I've just heard set number 2 is ready, so let's dive back into the action. We want to see how this unfolds. Let's go back into the client.
We saw Sky Striker Tenpai Dragon make an explosive finish in that first set. We saw Malice find a little bit of success as well, but will we see Memento able to make a comeback, and will we see Memento actually make a impact here on behalf of whoever is piloting it?
Mimoy is going to summon out here an X. Oh, we are going to see FCG starting off 2 games here, while, of course, there is going to be also a Memento combo on the side of Soul Form. So right now, I would say, even though this is pretty early in the duel, advantage is already on the side of FCG.
And Duel B sees a Call by the Grave on Maxi, the classic. You cannot let that card resolve, and therefore it is absolutely a no-brainer to use the Call by the Grave on it. So really looking beautiful here for Team FCG.
Oh my goodness, also followed up by triple tactics, talents. That
looking
is
at the hand, what are we going to send back? There is the Gold Sarcophagus, but we're going to send back the Impulse. No more disruption, can just freely Malice away here in Duel B, but Duel A heating up. RJ now doing his thing.
RJ is the Malice player, and I think he has found some liking in winning. As we said, he has not won before for his team, but now that we are in the 3rd round, he has started with the wins.
I'm curious to see what God War is playing this game, because obviously you do see his teammates piloting the Malice, piloting the Ryziel. Duel C is where we may very well see something else once the Memento turn is over.
Yep, we have, again, the decks that we have seen so far the very most. We have Memento, we have Ryziel, and we have Malice right in the spotlight, but of course the other decks still sort of unknown for the moment.
Malice underground?
I want to ask you guys a question, because I feel like the meta is going with the alt art Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. What is your take on that? I love the original artwork more.
I think I saw a Royal Finish original one earlier.
Okay, not too bad. I like the original art more, but I pulled the alt art from a pack, so I just went with that one instead.
All right, that is absolutely fair enough.
Right? But there is the Red Ransom coming back to the field from the banishment.
I love the Master Duel way of comboing with Malice, because you're just using every single aspect of your engine. You're using Malice in the Mirror to add your White Rabbit to your hand, and then special summoning out the Chessy Cat with your Red Ransom banish, basically. So you can even include the 2 draws in your combo, which just makes this so much harder to break.
A little bit unlucky for Suizokaku here, because you're seeing how he's unable to respond to this. The Malice field is fully set up, and 5 cards in hand for RJ to mirror Suizokaku's, despite Suizokaku not having anything ready and waiting for him.
That is absolutely true. Ooh, we see in Duel B, there is a 7th Tachyon, and I think we are searching for Artifact Lancea there. As we looked into their hand with the triple tactic talents, we know we're up against Melis, so having that option is absolutely ridiculously strong. So that detonator, backed up by an Artifact Lancea, looking really good for Team FCG.
Don't forget about the 2 set cards and Ryzeal Cross as well.
True.
Huge there. On the side, FCG is
cautiously
so far
optimistic here because we did see them manage to lose from being up 4 games earlier. So
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
That was the last round.
Even so, definitely a great position for them to be in, and this is their first steps towards their redemption arc and their first steps towards the finals. Let's go FCG as you take on Soulform. Soulform, though, they look so good earlier. They're still looking good now, still keeping it competitive. This is still anyone's duel to win.
And there is the gold sarcophagus, and it is being reacted by with that Artifact Lancea, and turn is back over to FCG. So Duel B looking really very much like it would be the next game for Team FCG.
I'm quite curious. Duel C, we've seen the Engraver earlier in Memento.
Ooh.
Is this going to be a big combo here? Okay, Lacrima is being summoned from the deck. Sometimes you can see Memento players just playing a Moon of the Closed Heaven and then a Requiem to summon out an Engraver to just bring in a little bit of Caesar action, or just sequence and Lacrima into Caesar action. But
I'm still
this
not
is a big
100%
combo.
sure as to what God War is playing, so I guess we're about to find out once the turn does pass over.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be Tempai, right? Because Tempai was the deck that one of his teammates played. Looks like RJ is now also done with his turn here on the main display in Duel A. And now it is on Suiso Kaku to somehow crack this. And it's not going to be an easy task. But was Suiso Kaku the Tenpai player of the team, maybe?
2 negations live on the Appaloosa Bow, the Goddess. Do we have something? There is the Ryzeal, you have to imagine, and there it goes. Meteorologic Aggregator going to come through, going to try and negate the Appaloosa Bow, the Goddess, and there is X-Ryzeal on top of it, hopefully successfully resolving.
Oh, and Duel C just sees Artifact Dacta being summoned there in the Memento combo. That's another way. We just saw the 7th Tachyon for Artifact Lancea. I'm sure now we're going to see Artifact Lancea being set. Oh wait, it's a different artifact. What is going on at Duel C?
Is that Mjolnir?
It's Mjolnir, I think. Yeah, or
Mimoe
Mjolnir.
actually won Duel B in the meanwhile while we're looking at these artifact monsters. But speaking
There
of
we
the
are. It's
artifacts, let's take a
Mjolnir.
look
There
at
you
Duel
go.
C. There it goes to the graveyard. The Memento deck is continuing to link away. Often to what?
Azalea, okay.
Striker
Azalea is
Memento.
destroying the own card. We have destroyed our very own
my goodness,
artifact there.
Wait.
Please
a
explain
second.
this to me.
I was going to think that this is going to be a Paradise Smasher situation, but that's not possible.
And why did we do that, actually? Because the artifacts, they have to be destroyed on the opponent's turn, right? So we just brought the Mjolnir into the graveyard with no real purpose. And we lost the Azalea in the process of it.
Trust
Don't
the
question it.
process.
Okay, I'm fine with it.
All right, we've fusion summoned, we've link summoned, now we're XC summoning.
Oh my, what is this deck?
Imperial Princess Quinseri in the Memento deck.
What? Okay. All right, we're going Mjolnir now. We're going to hammer it down, summon it to the opposing side of the field, of course.
Okay.
Oh, and now you can't summon artifact monsters anymore. Of course, we're locking our opponent out of the game here. God War is now, until the next end phase, not going to be able to summon any monsters or special summon any monster except for artifact monsters. This gives me serious...
This is Gimmick Puppet.
Gimmick Puppet
This is
vibes.
madness. What are we seeing here in the World Championship by Team Soulform, who's currently in 2nd place of Group B? This is absolutely insane.
Paradise
cool.
Smasher, who?
But honestly, between that, the Goblin Biker tech, I'm really seeing a lot of...
Innovation in Memento,
with
right?
the Memento,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
It can. I expected it to be a very fully committed, kind of full-on engine, but that is actually
and
a
we see
branded
God War
deck.
branded. Man, this tournament does not disappoint us in any round. We have one more deck we have not seen so far.
I mean, we spoke about this being kind of reminiscent of the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare lock back in the day. Well, Albion the
Only
Sanctifier
fair,
Dragon
right?
is part of the branded theme.
And we go in, normal summon the Quem, But with the Mjolnir, what actually is the restriction that is currently applying? Because there must be a whole lot of a reason why we summoned that to the opponent's side of the field. So we need to very much clarify.
I'm on it.
And find out what that actually is going to mean. And I also have it up here, the artifact Mjolnir. Actually, I think it actually just tells you. Oh, there I have
actually
it.
the turn has now passed, so I do think it was the no special summoning non-artifact monsters. Thankfully, Branded, they have capacity to play in the opponent's turn, capacity to play in the end phase. Granted, you're still locked for this end phase, so unlucky for God War, but there is another Branded card. Branded in High Spirit's going to be used here.
But yeah, to break it down, Mjolnir basically says that you can special summon an artifact monster from the graveyard, which they did not do, but also you cannot special summon monsters until the end of the next turn except artifact monsters. So really no way to summon anything there, but we send away the artifact now.
Yeah, but that is not going to help you. You're in the end phase anyways, and this is a lingering effect, so it doesn't matter if the monster is staying on the field there, but we are going to see the set cards are going to be a little bit more protected. Okay, we're continuing. We have the Cartesia discarded.
Blazing Cartesia, the Virtuous, of course, being a key component of that Grungignol, the Dusk Dragon, to then essentially Foolish Burial something from the deck and give extension to the combos. But right now, that combo is not happening. However, some degree of disruption is, but I believe the Memento can finish it during the next turn. That being said, still a great position for FCG to be in. This is what we wanted to see. Branded was what all of us wanted to see, everybody at home wanted to see, so let's see the Branded experts make it happen.
There's plenty of complete Branded experts probably also watching there. It's such a pet deck of so many players. It's incredibly versatile, and I also know that some of the players have been fearing Branded a lot. If there is a crazy Branded pilot on the opposing team, it's always dangerous to play versus them, because Branded is actually one of the decks, even though it's not a big part of the meta right now, it doesn't care about Detonator too much. The pops are basically irrelevant. Everything that you pop can be summoned can be banished from the graveyard or used as a fusion material.
It's intriguing to me because Branded has so much innovation capacity as well, where you can run the 60-card version, you can run a tighter build as well. Basti, do you have any comments you want to add about the Branded strategy? But Memento seems to be doing its thing
right now. It's really Memento's turn and Memento's time to shine, but I think Branded, we can all agree on, is one of those decks where you can never rule them out. You can present them with the best field possible that you can that your deck can do, but still Memento, or no, yeah, Memento also, but I'm talking about Branded. Branded finds a way to break it if they have the right hand. If they go Triple Tactic Frost, Branded Fusion, Forbidden Droplet, anything can be broken.
And there is a general rule of thumb. The last card in hand is always Branded.
Always.
Wow.
And it is semi-limited at this point in Master Duel, so
you
will always see it.
Screener and Branded Fusion. Anyway, looking at this game, it looks still pretty good for Memento, but looking at Duel B, we do have a fantastic lineup for RJ. That Malice full field is in full force, but here is an attempt at a comeback by Suizokaku.
But that doesn't really look like the best attempt of a comeback here. It's also a pass turn, so I think that RJ is really, really close to finish this game up here with the 7 cards in hand. Just chill like that, honestly. And now the turn change here on this side. Blazing Cartesia, of course, really nice to discard it with Branded in High Spirits afterwards there, because it just gets added back to hand after the Grungignol was sent to the graveyard. Because at the end phase, if a Fusion Monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, you could just add that card back to hand, as well as the Branded in High Spirits, even though I think that's only one of the effects.
Yeah, and now we go in the end, in the turn of the Memento deck. We can just go ahead, use the Princess one more time to bring out the Mjolnir, so no special summoning happening. This looks like it is very much going to be the turn that ends this duel and that brings the team Soulform still in this competition.
Speaking of duel-ending turns, though, there is access code Tulka. We've seen it time and time again since the days of Crystron, Hauka Fibrax getting back the Effect Veiler to climb into Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians. Then you go into this absolute powerhouse. Yes, Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess is the safer play. Yes, it's the more controlling play, but this is the one to finish it out. 5,300 points of damage, a couple of destruction effects too. Fantastic card about to wreak havoc.
Just going into the battle phase, we are able to attack directly, so we may as well 5 plus 3 is 8, so 5,000 plus 3,000 also is 8,000, and therefore that is the game
simultaneous
win.
finish?
Yep.
Oh, that's lovely. So that means we do head into the last set with a 4-2 lead in favor of Team FCG, who are desperately, of course, still on the lookout for their first win in the tournament.
All right, FCG, we've seen you in this position before. You can maybe do it or be the most unlucky
Nah.
3-loss team that we've seen.
I don't think it's going to happen again. I think at this point they're locked in. We have seen that RJ is now that the captain is back at it again, it's like, okay,
2-0 on the record.
I found it, 2-0 here.
This
I am locked in. I will definitely do this right here. So I think that it's going to be a real uphill battle.
I think it was the lunch break, honestly. I think they needed the lunch break. Now they're ready. Now they're playing. They're in the move. They're in the groove, and they're just showing what they can do best. And that's still it.
Highlighted how Soulform are a super team comprised of some of the best players within the world. You know, these are recently fantastic players as well because they were racking up points consistently across the season up until as recently as that May-June timing. Now, RJ as well took this team through the qualifier. He's proven himself, and now that he's found his form, we have no doubts that he has so much more left to show us. So it's really, really great to see, and it does bode well for this team as they move on to a third set.
Even though I want to say there is a little bit of a difficult situation while choosing the decks for the teams the other way around.
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, listen. So I think that the captain wants to have the highest win rate, so it makes the most sense to put the Malice deck on them because the Malice is probably the best deck in the game right now.
Which they did, right?
But I don't think that Malice from the decks that we're having shows the highest display of skill. I think the other decks in the room can be considered a little bit more tricky or a little bit more profiting from the pilot of it. Something like Branded or Memento. Because Malice, sometimes it feels... I mean, I have fumbled enough Malice combos to know that this doesn't count for all players.
For sure, for sure.
I think that Malice oftentimes wins you the games just on its own. You know, the deck takes away like all the responsibility of you because it's just like you do your standard combo and your opponent cannot play versus it. But the other decks, I think they, with like the little tweaks, I think that the captains, if they want to be the star of the team, that they might be better off with that deck.
And on the topic of decks, I'm really, really curious to see just how the Tenpai Dragon Sky Striker matchup goes this time around because it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent here to make the correct read as to whether FCG are going to be piloting that, because if they get a single win, they win the whole round.
Ooh, Silent Mining for RJ. That gotta be the, of course, Malice deck, which is relying on multiple new support cards. Or the card is not new, but it's a new way to find consistency in the deck.
It's
and
innovation to fill up for the non-shared card cards as well. You're delving deeper into the expanded card pool, but there is the Malice Trap in response as well. There's an XE summoning the bottom left of your screen to the Ryziel deck, doing Ryziel things, looking okay so far, whereas God War, he stayed with the Branded, and he's going first this time around. Has the Quem, has the Aluba, the Jester of Despia, has the Branded Fusion ready and waiting to go. Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, Branded, doing Branded things.
Honestly, let's go actually over to table C. We want to see what this Branded deck is doing. We want to see it in action. We want to see Branded Fusion resolving, and they have triple tactic Frost as well.
Even more.
Next to it.
That is huge. But also, if you're looking at Duel A right now, there's something that rarely ever happens. I think that we started off with an MTP 05 answered by a Droll and Lockbird, and this makes the combo actually a little more tricky here on the side, because Red Ransom is not going to be able to search you some extra follow-up here. So I'm quite curious as to see how RJ is going to do this combo. I think it's going to be a Splash Mage first, which would lock you out of Appaloosa Power of the Goddess.
Rainbrum, the Striking Dragon on Duel C as well, by the way, so this does mean that we're seeing extension, extension, extension.
Totally. And I mean, the thing is, Leo, that you have to pay attention to, RJ is currently in the second turn of the duel, meaning we don't have to find the perfect way to combo, we just have to find a way to 8,000 points of damage, because there was a quick pass.
In turn 1?
We didn't really catch it. I think the hand was very unfortunate there, and we could just immediately go in.
Despite that, obviously with the earlier rounds, you know, we did say kind of for FCG you have to disregard it and you have to focus on what's next, win the next 3 to secure yourself a way out. On the other hand, even if you drop this, because Soulform found so much success earlier, it does mean that they're still very much in the tournament, even if this doesn't go as planned. Because right now, FCG looking like this is their match. This is their set. This is their round, and this is their way back into the tournament.
It does very much seem like that, and RJ really in the zone. He's the captain, he's the one that can make it happen, but also getting massive support from his teammate there in Duel B, who's now just also dropping the artifact Lancea there.
Huge.
So that's massive after already resolving the Ryziel combo there.
Hard Scripter now hitting the field. This is the Malice end piece. This looks so good. Anything Suizokaku can do here.
I mean, you have to have... Oh, Marcher being changed, so the artifact Lancea and Duel B not too impactful unless it's something like Crystron, even though it's also good against something like the Memento deck. Called by the Grave is still being chained. Ring takes out the artifact Lancea there. Marcher in defense position, looking not too happy about this, and I think RJ goes like, hey, I don't really need
We can just still banish it, right?
Yeah, but then you don't get to... Oh, you have GWC set.
I think
yeah,
we have
that's true,
GWC set, so if there is no further stoppage, this may as well mean the game here for RJ, and that would mean the set and the entire match for his team. But can we close it out? Is there maybe another Bystial waiting somehow? Oh, it doesn't really look like it.
3,100. And now GWC06, the card that is ahead of everyone here, is now looking to be a crucial combo piece in the OTK for RJ. They're so close to deciding their own destiny, grabbing this tournament back by its heel, trying to go for the hard crypto, 5,600 attack, boosted by the Dormos, attacking for game, and FCG takes it back.
That is such a relief for them here. Their tournament is still alive as a result, and they are so happy to be in this still. 1 and 2 on the scoreline for them overall, but that is still fine as we are in round 3 of this tournament.
And as we just left there, we saw another brand attack on the opposing team as well. So we have both Team FCG and also Team Soulform with the brand attack, which we have so far not seen at all besides that, which is very interesting. And I mean, it felt like God of War would have won that game there with branded, right? In the third set as well.
Yep, that is true. We've seen, I think, we've seen Soulform right there posing, but actually FCG. Yep, there we go.
Victory.
They did it. All right, a true captain there that RJ is, right? Not even being in the middle, but leaving the spotlight to one of his teammates. What a comeback from RJ specifically as well, right? 3-0 there.
That feels so good for him, and honestly just shaking off the earlier losses. Again, these are true competitors to be able to do that and have the presence of mind just to, you know, recenter yourself and be like, hey, every game is a new game. Let's just get to it. Let's win. Yeah. And, you know, win is exactly what they did.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, to quote the great Bronas from Team Brotdose, sometimes Crypta gives, sometimes Crypta takes. And this time around for RJ, Crypta has given a lot, especially damage.
Yep. Really, really well played there by RJ and the rest of Team FCG. Got to see our first branded deck and then another branded deck of the tournament. So really happy to continue to see some variety in terms of what these players are bringing to the table. I do just want to take a step back though, because before the tournament, we looked at this group and we said, okay, Team 7, yeah, they're the favorites, they're coming back. But FCG are also very much contenders. And earlier in the day, you know, recency bias, we thought, okay, maybe they're not having the greatest time of it. But that game just there solidified the fact that these are still contenders to make out of the group and contenders to win the whole tournament this year at the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2025.
But yeah, as you explained earlier, the group kind of was already completely upside down before even this round, and now the teams that have been losing so far are actually now starting to win, so it's actually just completely going upside down. And talking about games being upside down, I think there are still matches being upside down currently, which are live.
I think we have Ragnarok versus Snipe Hunters, which is, of course, two of the most prominent teams within Europe. Facing off, we've seen it time and time again. Herman Hansen, Joshua Schmidt, household names within the European TCG.
Yeah, we will definitely have to catch some more of that. We are about to present that to you, and I mean, we all want to see because both teams with the same start, same standing right now. This round for them is absolutely leading them into one or the other direction. Are they having a winning tournament or having a losing record for now?
Yeah, but they have had complete other tie breaks so far. Currently, or before this round, Ragnar was on the second spot in Group A, and Team Snipe Hunters was on the second to last spot, on the fifth spot. And this could completely turn around if the Snipe Hunters just win this game. But even then, it is going to be tough with the tiebreak they are currently having.
I do really respect Ragnarok generally, just because of the caliber of player that they have in terms of winning every tournament that we have in the 3v3 format. And of course, these are very well-regarded players. Nesh considered to be one of the most intelligent minds for the game when it comes to bringing innovation, bringing new strategies, bringing any kind of deck building. Luca, very consistent, very strong, very prominent player as well. But missed. Herman Hansen. He's so good, and he has been good for so long. 7 Takia now being used here. You have the X Ryziel to follow it up here. It is a Ryziel deck here for him. Josh, any answer? Any response? Anything?
It is going to be a full combo here for Mist, and actually Ragnarok is leading 4-2 versus the Snipe Hunters here. So this is big. So far, Mist and Nash won the first round, while Josh also won the first round. And then Josh, single-handedly keeping the Snipe Hunters alive here, also won versus Nash, while Luca and, again, Herman Hansen, Mist actually won another round here. And now it is Josh versus Mist, the big captains, the big names of this tournament.
We're currently 4-2 on the scoreboard here. It is Snipe Hunters that are behind. Mist and Ragnarok are looking to close this one out very cleanly, but Josh, we've seen him come back from even tougher scenarios before, and we've seen Snipe Hunters clutch it out.
Definitely, and I mean, it's basically a little bit of old school versus new school. We had Snipe Hunters being so relevant in the last 2 World Championships, and now it's the new team. It's Team Ragnarok that wants to take the spotlight, that wants to take the stage, and they are right now in the process of giving that loss to Team Snipe Hunters.
Starleech Photon Blast Dragon there for the insurance to protect the monsters, and it does mean that Josh now has to commit some kind of field destruction, some kind of removal, something to deal with this, because right now that looks pretty untouchable to me for the side of Mist.
Yep, there's also like 3 material on the Ryziel Duo Drive. I love this technology to just play into, not even play into Nibiru. This is the power of Ryziel Star, right? You can access this Ryziel Cross before you activated the Duo Drive effect. You can go into the Starleech Photon Dragon and then protect everything from targeting effects as well. Set up a Ryziel Plasma Hole there, and now you can of course also go into the node, discard something from your hand. Harpy's Feather Duster are not going to be too useful here, and summon out the Ryziel Swordback. Now the big question is, are you going to go into a Baguska, which I don't even think is the best choice against a possible Memento deck, but also just the Detonator feels strong here.
I do like, Baguska also a valid option, of course, just turning off the monster effects. I like the fact that the Ryziel deck here has so many options in terms of a toolbox in the extra deck, depending on what you need. As long as it's rank 4, it's good.
And I mean, the thing is, we have the Plasma Hole, meaning Ryziel Plasma Hole gives us access to summoning out the Detonator on the opponent's turn, and therefore I think it's good to just go Baguska first and then the other way around after.
Drawing Fulos for
top
10.
deck.
Normal summon Gaddick after that. That's not the card you want to draw, and we just pass it over after. I think Joss is just showcasing it to everyone that he drew the card that sometimes finds its way into the hand way too often, even though you don't want to draw it.
Yep. Always when you go first or when you go as a 6th card there. Against some decks, it actually doesn't even feel too bad to draw it as the 6th card. Ryziel is not one of those decks, especially if you don't have anything to play with. And now Mist is just comboing off here, getting all those resources. What cards, what combination of 4 cards in Josh's hand that he didn't have in the first turn could possibly stop him right now?
Yep, had it come earlier, it would have been so good for Josh. It could have allowed him to run disruption on the combo by drawing cards every time there was a summon, but instead Too little, too late, and it looks like it's not too long left in this series for Snipe Hunters if Mist can close this one out here.
Duo Drive is also resolving. That's 2 cards just out of nowhere being added to the hand for a Mist too. He doesn't even need those additional cards, but they sure enough do help. And as we're now back into Group A, one thing, as we just saw a big comeback in Group B from Team FCG, worth mentioning, Team Dream's Future, they did not only come back, they came back with a 9-0. They completely swept alignments. So Dream's Future may be back into the discussion here in Group A as well.
Alignments is, of course, with Goyoku, who was Tasku's teammate last year, so it does have additional narrative to it as well, because everybody at that level are basically friends.
Yeah.
The World Championship oftentimes just a big reunion for a lot of them.
Totally, yeah.
And yeah, just having these players compete against each other and be able to win so convincingly at that level, phenomenal. Here is another normal summon of a Ryziel card here. The Sword Ryziel just going to be enough to tide over that final bit of damage, that final Gatic, and now you have 2,000, 2,300, 2,900, 2,700, more than enough to close this one out here in favor of Mist.
The Storm of Ragnarok has defeated Team Snipe Hunters here. Mist closing it out as the team captain that he is by winning the Duelist Cup earlier on in the year. And now it's tough times, honestly, for Team Snipe Hunters. 2 rounds remaining, and they basically need to win both of them if they still want to play a role in this tournament.
Okay. There is a chance that Noble Gabigol are like the gatekeepers for Snipe Hunters here. So
possibly.
Good luck.
I will say it. For me, Ragnarok was one of the top teams of the tournament, was one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Mist has been so incredible this entire season. We've said it again and again, of course, but also his teammates. But in this one, the first Master Duel World Champions and then runner-ups, Team Snipe Hunters, so incredible. Mist just 3-0'd them.
Honestly, Snipe Hunters, fantastic team, and the fact that they're behind right now is a little bit daunting, but they've come back from more. They've come back from more precarious things. I believe we're having
coming
another
back for more,
game here.
What do we have here coming our way? Oh, that animation. It doesn't get old. It's too beautiful. We do have Quantel now in the action.
Oh, and Luca also won versus Emra, by the way, so that is plenty of points here for Ragnarok. They're looking super strong in the tournament, but Quantel is, of course, someone who just passes here.
To an Artifact Lanceo,
yeah,
of course.
Okay, I did not see that one, but that's crazy, of
course.
Oh,
Nash. Okay, I think we have spotted the anti-Malice deck in the lineup of Team Ragnarok, because this is not the Memento deck that he has been playing so much, but that looks like a Millennium Kashtira deck of some sort.
The big papa of Team Ragnarok has cooked here and is now about to cook Quantel, because 3 sets, yes, we've seen that in Labyrinth decks, looks threatening, but the amount of mirror forces in this tournament it's negligible.
Oh, there's a Ghost Belt mentioned in that deck as well. Of course, fitting the theme of being an anti-Malice deck, and that card is so good against Malice.
We praised Nesh's deck building skills, and so far they haven't let him down. This Millennium Kashtira anti-Malice strategy has just paid dividends so far, but it's not over yet. Quantel, he's doing things, he's actioning things, he's allowing Nesh to activate a couple of effects, but he's also resolving a few of his own.
And can we just talk about how crazy Kashtira Unicorn is versus the Malice deck? Because all of those extra deck monsters, they are always just one-offs, even though you could probably afford to play multiple copies of those. Actually, the extra deck is quite tight for the deck, but just taking out one of those crucial
Nibiru,
pieces,
the Primal Being?
That's huge here. And now the Kashtira Unicorn effect is even more important, because I think we're going to see more turns here. Kashtira Birth is going to be activated again. We're getting the Unicorn back, and we're passing the turn here.
Massive. That was tough. And there's another Artifact Lanceo just waiting for Quantel, though.
But you can play this as Quantel. I think you have...
We attack over the Unicorn. I mean, that means the Birth can immediately bring it back next turn. Now GWC in the main phase too. Normal summon of the Dormouse.
You can't even Cerberus here anymore into the token because you have no card in hand. Splash Mage can, of course, be used. You have multiple bodies on the field already. Gets the White Rabbit back. Of course, Red Ransom is not an option here. Do you just go White Binder and set back the MTP so that you can banish the token in the next turn, because it doesn't necessarily look like Nash is going to come up with a big field. And this is, by the way, something that all of those pro players have also said. Malice is incredibly good. Joey has said this in the interview before. you can play whatever you want against Malice. You can play all the Lanceas in the world.
It
Sometimes
still
you
might win, yeah. It's still just an absolutely amazing deck. We have gotten rid of the token in the battle phase. Unicorn, though, keeps on going after the extra deck. Also the White Binder now being run over, and Called by the Grave is activated on that White Binder now, too. That's massive.
I wonder why we didn't wait. Oh, because of the Marcher in the battle phase. That's genius as well, knowing this is a main phase only effect. So in the battle phase, while I'm at it, I can just Called by the Grave this.
That being said, Quantal going to have a much easier time of it next turn once Lancia is out of the equation, and it does mean that we could very well see him make a comeback here.
Yes, however, with what cards? In the extra deck, there is no more Red Ransom, there's no more Hard Crypta, and the White Binder is just now added back to the extra deck, but it is not going to be able to activate its effects, or it can try, but it's not going to be able to resolve the effects, because Called by the Grave was successfully resolved in the last turn. So Quantal, you really have to go for a Quantal thing here to find your way back into this game.
He got a better thing, and to put this into perspective, this game right now is basically for tiebreakers only, because we know who is the winner of this entire match. We know that Ragnarok comes out on top, but still, tiebreakers are incredibly important in all of this, and therefore we want to find out who the winner of this game actually turns out to be.
Oh, I'm very, very curious to see what's going to happen next year. Malice in the mirror is being activated. I think you have a name in the graveyard that you can still trigger. You haven't normal summoned yet. What I can see as a possible line here is actually access code to finally get rid of the Kashtira Birth here.
That might be the way to go. We activate the Dormouse, and life points for Nash are desperately low, only 2,400, so it really feels like Quantal is at least going to win this one here for Team Snipe Hunters.
Oh my, we're gonna find so much more non-engine here now with Jessica. As you can see at home, if you have doubted the Malice strategy and you said, hey, if there are anti-Malice decks, then the deck has no chance in the competition, this is peak Malice gameplay. The deck has no extra deck anymore, but look at it. You just win with the little Malice monsters.
That is absolutely correct. There is now all the little ones. And I mean, you basically only need a Nibiru anyways, right? It doesn't even need all the Malice monsters. You can attack with Nibiru, and that would already be enough. But I'm sure Quantal wants to make sure
phase 2, though.
This last card that gets rid of.
So as you said, I think access code Tulka to remove the Kashtira Birth is a good start, and then you just wait. There's not that much time pressure on him either.
I mean, you remove everything, right? And Wedju Temple also isn't really a threat anymore because there's very little life points on the side of Nash.
And also the Golem is just limited, so I don't think it really does that much even anymore. But we shall find out whether that's the way for Quantal. Ling free, and there is
Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians?
White
No,
Binder,
White Binder.
Like that, can't activate the effect. I mean, again, it can activate the effect, it just won't do anything because Called by the Grave was used in the last turn. And that one counts for 2 turns, so we're just going to link it off into probably an access code talker. Can't imagine that it's going to be Appaloosa, because that would be really wasted here on another Unicorn being sent back from the birth. But I know that we have used Splash Mage before already, so access code talker here as Channing 2 can't respond to it is going to be a good solution here, going to be able to take apart the field that Nash still has. Which card could save Nash in the next turn? Normal summon Snake Eye Ash, maybe?
If it is a Snake Eye deck, yeah, sure. Oh, 1/1 was the set card. That felt like a card he could have just kept in hand. Because, I mean, the bluff didn't really... I wasn't impressed. Maybe Quantal was, but he still decided to go for it. But that 1/1 could have been one of the cards that could have brought you out of this desperate situation. Seeing the 1/1, though, kind of is telling us that it is Snake Eye, right?
Link Decoder and Lingaribo going to be linked off here as well to the SP Little Knight, which is another way of dealing with the Kashtira Birth. You'll banish it, and then we are good.
I think that you actually just want to set up the Link Decoder, or the Link Decoder is banished now. The Lingaribo in the graveyard, so you can banish it for the access code talker, and SP Little Knight gives you more follow-up. So now that you can handle those cards there, Lingaribo is in the graveyard. SP Little Knight gave you a little bit more follow-up, and if there is a Snake Eye Ash now, you have the possible interruption of March Hare, banish the White Binder. So Quantal think just knows what he's doing. It's a shame that in this game it won't matter for the eventual outcome of the entire match, but of course, with 2 losses, you're not exactly out of the tournament.
Not yet.
Oh, wow!
Okay.
And I mean, the SP Little Knight, of course, helped us getting more follow-up, but also it helps us, of course, being an interruption, but it's not even needed as there is Dominus Impulse immediately responding to the original Sinful Spoilers. We see the Dominus Impulse animation there, and so that is the last push that Nash had remaining, but he has to now pass it over to Mr.
Yep,
Quantal.
that should be game in favor of Quantal, but it's still the set in favor of Ragnarok. Timer ticks down on Gold Sarcophagus, but I don't think we're going to see another turn here. I think Access Code Talker is going to close this one out. Quantal takes down Nash, but Ragnarok already taken down Snipe Hunters. That being said, that was our backup feature. We had a feature earlier with Team FCG, taking down Soulform, and it's actually FCG's game that we'll go through on the analyst desk. Over to you.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed that backup feature. We're here to talk about the feature we had just before that, featuring FCG against Soulform. And I'm here with the captain of the winning team, FCG, RJ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit how you've been getting on today? How's your tournament been going so far?
Honestly, it's a tough day for me because I got 0-6 in the first 2 matches, and my team is always like 4-5. I just need one game, but I can't win anyone. Yeah, but now I think I'm come back.
So your team, you lost the first 2 rounds?
Yeah.
Okay, well you are against obviously the very toughest competition. So how did you prepare for this weekend?
I prepare with my teammates against a lot of like European team or the NA team, and we do a lot of practice. Yeah.
And how did you decide on your teammates? You're obviously the captain, but how did you pick your teammates?
They're always my DC friends, so yeah, I will pick them, of course.
That's really nice to know. So should we have a little look at the match that we just had? So you said you were struggling to win before this round, but this round you were just sort of dominating with your Malice deck. But the first clip I had was actually not Malice. It was Tenpai versus Tenpai. So you can have a look behind us here. So obviously you got your friend here playing Tenpai.
Yeah.
Is this a deck you expected before? This game was over in just seconds, right? Because Tenpai, not known for doing so much going first.
Yeah, we expect this is a Tenpai vs Malice matchup, but yeah, they play Tenpai as well, so it becomes like a conflict matchup. Yeah.
So was this something you knew? Have you been like keeping one eye out on the other teams, or was this just a lucky surprise? You go in, you pick going second, and then all of a sudden you're up against a Tenpai deck?
We know he has the Tenpai deck and the Malice deck, but the like branded matchup against Malice is too tough. So yeah, we can only play a Tenpai.
Aha, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So that round was over super fast. I think you won 2 of the first. You again won with your Malice deck. It looked very comfortable. And then we saw in the second set as well, you were playing Malice, and it looked like you kind of went first almost uninterrupted. Maybe we can get it up on the screen here. No, maybe we'll just be a minute. Oh, there we go. So you went first here with the Malice. Malice, your deck of choice? So why did you choose Malice as your favorite deck?
Yeah, and Malice is like overpowered in this meta, so yeah, we have to choose Malice. Yeah, and I love combo decks, so yeah, I play the Malice.
And here you are against Ryze, possibly the other best deck of the format, but you think Malice, the stronger one. Here you see it going first and completely dominating it, but you're going first sort of uninterrupted there. So how do you find it going second maybe into Ryze?
We play like Lockbird or any cards. Yeah, still have some chance because Malice has tons of hand traps. But yeah, honestly, the matchup is like the coin flip matchup. Yeah, I think.
Sure. So maybe was that the difference then? You said, you'd lost the first 6 rounds, but now you just won 3 in a row. And then going on to this other match, we saw Memento and your team playing Branded here. So Memento here coming up with this combo to summon the artifact Mjolnir. Have you anticipated this?
We knew this, but we can do nothing with this because another deck is Tenpai, and we have to choose second. I think it's worse. Yeah, and Branded at least he can pick going first when he win the coin flip. Yeah.
Okay, so you knew this was something, but you knew, okay, I don't want to play my Tenpai deck because I don't want to choose going second against this very powerful combo. Instead, play Branded, but unfortunately...
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So then going into the third game here, it was a Malice versus Malice, and it looked like you lost the coin flip, but your opponent passed on nothing, and then you were more than happy to, you know, take advantage of that.
Yeah, because my Lancia passed.
Oh, you played a Lancia?
Yeah,
okay,
I played a Lancia.
Okay. Yeah, we missed the first little bit. So you were playing Lancia and Drone Lockbird in your Malice deck?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so a lot of interesting tech choices really there to counter what you think is going to happen.
Sorry?
So you chose to run sort of very specific cards for Ryziel and Malice.
Yes. I build a deck like I can win in the, how do I say that? 就是我组这个牌想要那个它的上限高一点，这样子，就是它的就好的时候比较好，这样。
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So how did you choose then to split up these cards? Because obviously these cards are very good against Ryziel and Malice, but you're taking them all for your Malice deck. So your friends, what are they playing?
Actually, I only take one. Yeah, so they still have something to play. Yeah.
Oh, so you take one each and then split it across?
Like Lockbird is not that good in so many matchups. Only for Malice is like it's better in Malice deck, I think. So there's no problem. Maybe I take all the Lockbird. Yeah.
No, that's really interesting because I think for people at home, this is probably one of the most fascinating things is how you choose to split up your cards across the 6 decks, how you choose the shared cards. So do you have any insights on how you pick these cards to share?
You mean the shared card?
Yeah, the shared cards or the different hand traps you choose.
Oh, the shared cards should be like Maxi, Ash, and +1. And if you are a combo deck, maybe Kobai. And if you are something like the beat deck, maybe you choose the Imperm or the Follows. Yeah. So yeah, we choose because we're all combo deck. Yeah.
So you all choose to use Kobai the Grave.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So congratulations for winning this, and we're rooting for you to carry on into the top 4 maybe. So how do you feel about your chances?
I think the chance is slightly, but yeah, I will try my best and maybe enjoy the stage. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your win again. And everyone at home, I hope you really enjoyed the feature match and our interview with RJ, and stick around for some more great Master Duel and Rush Duel and Speed Duel content.